Area 51 has received its first leak in over a month. Now, this leak is much different than the rest of the leaks, because no, there is no shiny new killer like the title says. There's no new shiny gun that has been leaked, but it's actually an endless survival perk. Now, if you didn't know, most endless survival perks are only on endless survival's game mode. However, these new perks only get added with expansions. So the theory is this perk is going to be with the Pack-a-Punch expansion, and that is very exciting news. Now, what the heck is this perk, you might be wondering? We're going to get into it, but first, let's join an endless survival match. I got a bunch of fans here. If you want to join my endless survival matches or in my videos, feel free to join my Discord server if you're 13 plus. If you're not 13 plus, you can't get verified, but if you're 13 plus, you can be able to join my videos and be like with these fans. So anyway, now that we are in endless survival, I'm going to be talking about this new perk, where it's going to be located in the map, and also the last perk that was added to the game. If you didn't know, it's been a couple years since the last endless survival perk was added, so it's been a very, very long time. But I wanted to show you guys the last perk that was added, and you can actually thank me for this location, because I actually requested or told Homer that you should probably add Stamina Up, the last updated perk, into the bunker. If you didn't know, Stamina Up was added with the bunker. I think it was a little after the bunker, but Stamina Up was actually the last perk to be added to Area 51. Now, this perk is an interesting perk because it makes your walk speed much faster, so you'll be able to walk faster. Now, of course, this perk, obviously, as the first perk being covered in this video, you can just buy a Game Pass that gives you speed, so it's kind of like iffy, but still a very helpful perk if you want to be faster in endless survival nonetheless. The next perk I want to talk about before we get into the next perk is Quick Revive, because this perk is arguably the biggest rival of the upcoming perk. Because Quick Revive is a perk that automatically revives you. You don't need someone else to revive you if you have this perk. It'll automatically revive you if you go down. Now, the limitation of Quick Revive is that you only have 3 uses, so it's kind of like 3 lives. It is a very cheap perk, but at the same time, you gotta use it wisely and be careful, because once you lose this perk, once you go down, you lose the perk and you lose, one of the uses for your endless survival round. So why am I mentioning these 2 perks in particular? Well, the upcoming perk is going to be called Who's Who. Now, that's a weird, confusing perk name, right? All of the perks are kind of weird, but Who's Who, like the other endless survival perks, are based off of Call of Duty Zombies, and Call of Duty Zombies has a bunch of perks, and that endless survival uses all perks of endless survival, and also guns as well, like the ray gun. Now, what's interesting is Who's Who is very, very, very similar to Quick Revive, but there are a few differences. Who basically, you'll basically drink the perk like normal, and then basically it'll only come into effect until you go down. So basically, when you need to revive yourself, that's when the perk comes into action. Now, Who's called Who's Who because when you go down, you don't need someone else to revive you, similar to Quick Revive. But the problem is that it creates a clone of yourself, and your clone, it basically gives you a second life automatically. But the thing is, your clone, you have to go to your body because there's 2 of you. You have to walk as a ghost to revive your old self. Now, when you revive your old self, what's nice is that you actually get to keep the other perks that you'd equipped. If you didn't know, you lose all of your perks if you go down once. But if you have Who's Who equipped in Call of Duty Zombies, it actually allows you to keep your weapons and your perks. So Who's Who is going to be very interesting because it'll allow you to save perks. Now, I wonder what will happen if you equip it with Quick Revive. What is it going to use? Also, is Who's Who going to have limitations like Quick Revive? Is there only going to be 3 uses? Is this going to make it much easier to revive? Because think about this, guys. This is going to be crazy for endless survival strategy because you're going to be able to revive yourself in multiple ways now. That might allow you to revive yourself infinitely, or it might allow yourself to revive, maybe 3 more times or something. Now, the thing is, guys, as a clone of Who's Who, if you go down, you can still die as a clone. And if you die as a clone, my question is it going to make you instantly die and get eliminated from the round? Or are you just going to stay as down again? Very interesting. We really don't know how this is going to work in Endless Survival, but it's going to be very interesting because Who's Who, we don't know how it's going to go. Now, where is Who's Who going to be located, you might be asking? Well, Who's Who is going to be most likely added to the Pack-a-Punch expansion area. Now, the main reason we think Who's Who is going to be added to the Pack-a-Punch expansion is because new perks are only added to expansion areas. If you didn't know, expansion areas like Stamina Up were added to the bunker. Also, a few other perks as well, like the sewer perk. I believe it's Double Tap. There's a few other perks though that have been added after. Deadshot Daiquiri obviously wasn't added to a new area, so we aren't 100% sure if Who's Who's going to be part of Pack-a-Punch, but very certain because we don't really know where Homer would add Who's Who. All the other perks take up enough space. It only makes sense for Who to be added here, especially since, the closest perk would probably be the speed perk. Now, if you're wondering, is Who going to be the new best perk? That's my question. I don't really know if that's going to be the case, but Speed Cola, for instance, this perk allows you to reload very quickly. So if you have a ray gun, you could reload your ray gun very fast, and that's very, very, very helpful for, if you really want to, reload. Obviously, we covered Stamina Up making you faster and Quick Revive reviving you. I just wanted to show you some of the other perks because I'm really curious, guys, if you think that these perks are going to be better or not. The next perk is Juggernog that I wanted to show you, and this is actually the best perk in the game right now, arguably, because it makes your health much higher. And so yeah, Juggernog, very, very helpful. Obviously, Quick Revive might be the most important as well, if you think about solo, but Juggernog, if you're in like a big server or player server 4, Juggernog definitely is the best. But if you're solo, maybe Quick Revive is, or maybe Who's Who will take that title away. We'll find out. But the other perk is, of course, Double Tap. Now, this perk makes your gun shoot double the bullets in the same amount of time. So, yes, you run out of bullets sooner, but it literally allows you to kill killers sooner. So, Double Tap's actually a very helpful perk. Obviously, maybe a top 3 perk as well. And the last perk that I want to show you guys is the Deadshot Daiquiri perk. And this, unfortunately, is probably the worst perk in the game right now. Hopefully, Who's Who isn't the worst perk of the game. But this perk is the worst because it only just helps with your recoil. So it only helps with like a few guns with your machine guns. Now, to be fair, with so watch my recoil. See how my camera's pointing up since I don't have it. Now, if I actually buy this perk, you'll see that like wherever I shoot, the recoil is much slower. Actually, there is still a little bit of recoil, but it's much smaller, which is interesting. But yeah, Deadshot Daiquiri, it's a little helpful, but it's still, not the best perk. But however, guys, however, what do you think is the best perk in Area 51? And do you think this new Who's Who perk is going to be the best perk coming soon? Cosmo here actually was the one to actually request Who's Who the perk, and so now he's a contributor to SAKTK because Homer's actually adding it to the game. Cosmo, like, did I miss anything important that I should have mentioned with this perk?
Hi, thank you for having me. So one thing I do want to say, everything you said was the main thing, but there were some extra things you missed. First,
okay.
When you get down, Who's Who activate, you have to revive yourself, but you still have that bleed out time that you have when you're playing co-op with friends. You fail to revive yourself when that bleed out time runs out.
Oh.
You will stay as a doppelganger, lose all of your stuff. It's the same thing in Black Ops 2 Zombies. You lose all your stuff. If you die as a doppelganger, you fail. Another cool thing, your teammate can revive your down self even when you're as the doppelganger. So you can distract the killers and you can go over there, or zombies, and they can revive your doppelganger.
Huh.
It gets you backed up fully, have all your perks, no harm, no foul.
I was just curious, like, how many do you know, like, in COD, how many uses it has?
Oh, no, there is no limited uses, it's unlimited.
Oh, okay.
You can use it as much as you like.
So, it's actually likely that this could be an infinite use. That's
Yes,
game-changing. That's game-changing. But, yeah, Cosmo here was the one to even suggest it. So I think this is going to be a really cool perk. I'm really excited to see, like, a ghost/clone of yourself. Especially since you could still die as a clone trying to revive yourself. Apparently, according to Cosmo, you'll spawn away from your actual, wherever your body is. I have a feeling you'll probably spawn at the spawn as your ghost. So hopefully you're not too far away. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. And yeah, thanks Cosmo.
Yeah.
Basically, as a clone, you'll have a bleed time, and you'll have to revive yourself as your clone / ghost within a certain amount of time. Now, if you don't revive yourself, you'll just stay as your clone, and your revived body will disappear, but you'll lose all of your items. However, if you revive your past self, then you'll get all of your items and your perks back. So that's basically kind of how it works. Obviously, if you die as your clone, then you're dead, unfortunately. No, which is unfortunate. So it is a risky perk. There are some risks, but it's gonna allow you to play infinite, kind of like where you'll have a second chance of life multiple times, which I think is really cool. But yeah, W stuff by Cosmo for requesting this, and I'm very excited for this update to come out. Guys, let me know in the comments. Do you think this is gonna be the next best perk? Do you think it's gonna be a mid perk, a bad perk? Let me know. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more, and like the video to show support. I hope to see you in the next one.